Well, hi there. Let's take a look at the project, at the progress on the project. Actually, what's happened is a week ago, the contractor and his people went away. They finished the paving work and everything. Just a little bit of work on the garage still left to be done in terms of private contractor. For example, the garage door, the main door, the electric door. But for now, let's take a look at the paving work. Oh, one last thing. Things like there's sand all over them, which is normal at this point. You want sand to get in the cracks between them. And some other things aren't quite perfect yet, but I don't want to wait until everything's perfect before I show you what's happening. So without further ado, let's take a look. Here's the front of the garage, of course, and here are the pavers in front of the garage. Just a small strip that went from the floor of the garage to the existing pavers in the driveway. And we had the same contractor who did all of it, and he planned it in such a way that the elevation of the garage was about ½ an inch higher of the floor so that water wouldn't run in. So let's take a look down this side here. On this side we have unfortunately the pavers that we used, these ones last year, are no longer available. We had a couple of pallets left that we used up on this project, but we had to use some other pavers. Kind of simpler, but they were available. And so you can see those pavers down here. So over on this side, there's quite a few things that were done. You can see the little garden spot in the middle, a little opening. I think there's already one fern planted. My wife will put some other things there. That gets very little sunlight here, so it has to be things like ferns. Equipment for pounding down sand, big heavy duty bugger, and then a lighter duty one. Here you can see kind of a trough. The trough is going to be an area that is not covered with pavers. Basically, it's going to be a little area we're going to have a little bit of a garden or some bushes or. So you can see there's sand. Over on this side was the existing skirt of the house that was here, and then on this side it's new. They're both connected, and you can see sand all over because that's normal to dump sand all over, sweep it in, and to fill the cracks, the spaces between the pavers. And sweep as you might, you can't get it all off. You have to wait for a couple of rainstorms, and hopefully we have one of those coming up. But so even though it looks kind of dirty, it isn't. This is all part of the process. You can see the doorway to the garage, which I think was there before, but under the doorway there's a big space. You can see now that's been filled by bricks of the same sort that the garage is made from. And inside the garage they made a little concrete step. Over here you can see there's two places, the two drain spouts that come down off the roof. Back of the garage, you can see it goes all the way back, almost touching my existing shed. The guys actually had to take the door on the shed, cut the opening differently and raise the door about 1.5 inches so it would open and clear the borders and the pavers once they're installed. Go into a plastic channel with a little grate over the top of it to drain off into the backyard. I haven't figured out exactly where. Backyard is, well, it's a mess. And I was going to wait until this was at least all new soil on it and grass seed at least planted before I made this video, but I'll just make another one afterwards. Okay, and here's our little walkway. I swept a little bit of it, and the rest of it I haven't, but as I mentioned, it really needs a good rainstorm. So this connects right to the existing skirt to the house. It's kind of nice. It's like elevated a little bit. You can walk out here to the very back of the property. We're happy with the way everything came out. And again, one of my main reasons is we live in what's called the Black Earth area of Russia, meaning beautiful farming soil. You dig down 6 feet and it's all topsoil. Seriously, dig down 6 feet, it's all topsoil. That's why it's so good for farming, and that's why it's called Black Earth. Here, the earth, when it's wet, it gets muddy, and it's a type of mud. Well, it's a type of mud that clings to your shoes, to the bottoms. And I mean, when I say clings, I mean you go walking in an area where there's exposed earth, you know, when it's really wet, and when you're done walking just a little bit, you're, you know, 2 inches taller than you were before, 50 centimeters, because of all the mud that's really stuck on the bottom, and it's hard to get off. You have to scrape it off with a stick, or in my case, I've always had pallets here, so I'd scrape it off on a pallet. But I hated that. I mean, I love the soil, that's great, but I hated that feeling. That's why I wanted to set it up so that in my yard, you never have to walk in that stuff, ever. That's why we have pavers everywhere, and where we don't have pavers, we have grass. So my purpose of all of this was actually to keep my shoes clean. Okay, well, that's all for this video. Goodbye. Thank you for watching my video till the end. If you enjoyed this video and aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Also hit the little bell to make sure that you're notified each time I release a new video. Pressing like also helps me out with YouTube, and comments are appreciated. I mean, comments also let me know that people are watching the videos, and I'm happy to answer most questions. So let's talk.